Hundreds came out to show their support after a bombing at a Bloomington mosque.
Some of the leaders in attendance called that attack an attack on all Minnesotans. The FBI is investigating who threw the pipe bomb-like device into Dar al-Farouk Community Center, the state's largest mosque. The explosion damaged the prayer leader's office. As Jennifer Mayerly reports, the strength of this community overpowered the bombing, using smiles, handshakes, and strong words of support.
An act of violence brought out the best of the community.
The fact that we are together is something to count as a moment of joy, to see this kind of unity in the midst of this kind of tragedy.
Hundreds filled seats and even more stood on the soccer field behind Dar al-Farouk in a show of solidarity.
We are living in times of divisiveness and Islamophobic rhetoric, and it is important for us to push back against the forces of hatred with forces of unity.
Faith leaders condemned the attack.
I come today on behalf of the Jewish community, extending a hand of support, an embrace of comfort.
And politicians spoke of moving past intolerance, prejudice, and violence.
Throughout our history, we have overcome hatred with love, with understanding, and with vigilance.
Neighbors said they wanted to be there in person to show up for those who they say are being unjustly attacked.
This is not okay with me that this is happening, and it's not reflective of all people.
For people who feel vulnerable, to have the community stand with them and around them literally is really important.
And it's in that spirit that nearly 1,000 people filled a field with respect and understanding.
The message that you're hearing from your neighbors is you are cherished, you are loved, you are Minnesota, and you are America.
Jennifer Mayerly, WCCO 4 News.
The FBI reports that lab specialists are identifying the bomb contents to try to figure out who built that device. The local Council on American Islamic Relations, or CAIR, is offering a $10,000 reward for anybody who can help investigators.
President Donald Trump is drawing criticism for staying silent on the mosque attack. Imam Assad Zaman from the Muslim American Society of Minnesota says the president does not seem to care about the incident and that needs to be questioned. An assistant to the president told MSNBC yesterday that the White House will make a comment once the FBI investigation is complete. Stay with WCCO for continuing coverage of the mosque attack investigation.
North Korea threatens to attack Guam, and President Donald Trump responds with a threat of his own.
North Korea best not make any more threats to the United States. They will be met with fire and fury like the world has never seen.
North Korean Army says it's studying a plan to create, quote, enveloping fire in areas around Guam using medium to long-range ballistic missiles. The U.S. territory is home to Andersen Air Base. This comes as a Japanese defense paper reports that North Korea may have successfully produced a miniaturized nuclear warhead that can fit inside missiles.
China is responding to an earthquake in a mountainous western part of the country. The 6.6 magnitude quake hit while people were sleeping. It killed at least 13 people, injured nearly 200 others, and knocked out power and phone networks. The area is populated largely by Tibetans and features spectacular waterfalls that attract visitors from across the globe. It is prone to earthquakes.
Food and Drug Administration has approved a new drug to treat ALS, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease. Its infusion therapy was developed in Japan and has proven to be very effective for patients. The mother of the man who inspired the Ice Bucket Challenge, remember that? She has been working for Radicava's approval. She says the FDA fast-tracked the approval of Radicava, foregoing a clinical trial in America. That saved money, and more importantly for ALS patients, it saved time.
It's never a good time to get an ALS diagnosis, but today that diagnosis is different than it has been for 150 years. That's progress, and that's hope.
Radicava is the first drug to treat ALS that the FDA has approved in more than 20 years.
It looks like a full-blown construction zone in parts of downtown Minneapolis, but city officials want to let people know they are making significant progress on the Nicollet Mall project. They say 75% of the intersections are now open, making it easier for traffic and pedestrians to get around. The challenge has been to keep everything open all the time.
And so when you're right down here on the mall, I think you're starting to see what it takes to pull off a project like this.
Elwood says the next thing we'll see is the addition of artwork. He says the work is on schedule and budget for completion in November.